Good morning, noon, evening, night, or whatever have you. On this Shinobi Spotlight, we're going to be focusing on Konoha's favorite flower, Ino Yamanaka. Ino's basic strings are pretty small regardless of her being airborne or on the ground. Her ground strings are pretty good speed, and her light heavy and light heavy are launchers, so they're quick enough to get someone off of you if your team isn't paying attention. Her air strings are they're horrible. There's another way to put it. The actual input list is super small, they're slow, and her range and area is just abysmal. Due to how much combat takes place in air, I find that Ino isn't well versed in being a combat nin, simply due to her lower speed in the air. Ground combat she becomes good, but once her jutsu are taken into consideration, you'll see why she's not necessarily a straight up combat nin like some other healers can be. Think like Kabuto, Great War Sakura, Sarada, regular Sakura. Ino has the basic kunai, a basic substitution jutsu, and she does have a semi-unique dodge animation, which is of course fitting for her with her staple purple flowers falling off of her model. Her first jutsu is Mind Transmission Jutsu, her second is Mind Transmission Palm Sage Jutsu, and her ultimate is Mind Transfer Clone Jutsu. Mind Transmission Jutsu is a long-range snipe ability, similar in style to Hinata's 8 trigrams Air Palm. However, it's got less tracking and goes further. Once connected, this jutsu will lower the secret technique gauge of the target hit and then render Ino and the target immobile for 5 seconds. At this point, Ino can either cancel the jutsu or do a second activation. When she cancels it, she'll be able to move, but the target will be immobilized for the 5 seconds. If she reactivates it, they will pull out a paper bomb and explode it on themselves. A few things to note about this move. Ino is stuck in place during the travel time and during the immobilization time and can only cast it from the ground. So it's entirely possible to have yourself stuck in place for about 8 to 9 seconds, or about 4 to 5. There is a slight delay before you're able to activate or deactivate the second part of the jutsu, so once you know which input is which, you can spam it to make it happen faster. If your target is hit early by another teammate, it ends the jutsu and you won't get your part 2, but you will be able to move. Always have a strategy in mind for how you're using this jutsu and be aware of who is around you and what is happening when you're using it. Mind Transmission Palm Sage Jutsu is her second jutsu, and this is the jutsu that a lot of players and content creators, namely Globku, find as a negative impact on the game. I agree, but also think it is kind of a necessary evil, and over the time of the game's lifespan, I'd say it's not as unhealthy anymore. So Ino will channel the jutsu and all allies regardless of distance, and herself, will be healed for as long as she holds it. This is the main way Ino will be racking up her ultimate charge. Due to it locking her in place, a major theme of her kit by the way, it is best used in hidden spots or away from battle. There's not really much to say about this jutsu, it's pretty simple. What I will say is though, this is the main reason Ino's playstyle can be frustrating to do, play with, or play against. Finally, we have Ino's ultimate jutsu, Mind Transfer Clone Jutsu. This ability is literally just an AoE version of Mind Transmission Jutsu. It activates pretty fast, has a huge area of effect, and deals some decent damage. Missing it feels awful though because the downtime for missing it is a bit more punishing than when you miss Mind Transmission Jutsu, but that makes sense since Ino is held in place for Mind Transmission Jutsu's travel time, and the travel time of Mind Transfer Clone Jutsu is literally the ultimate animation. This is, however, a great tool for base battle and flag battle since you can rush in and stop opponents in their tracks. Ino's kit is a little trivial in the fact that she has a base jutsu repeated as her secret technique, but it's just an enhanced version of it. However, it becomes a clash of ideologies in how she's meant to play when you realize you're rewarded to stay further from the fight by her jutsu and kunai, but then have to run in and put yourself in harm's way to use the secret technique. This brings upon the biggest flaw Ino has as a character, and that is the actual playstyle the game makes you think is best. An Ino player is likely to be hiding the entire match, only healing, recharging the heal, healing more, and then randomly appearing to use her ultimate. This playstyle is toxic. It's not fun for Ino players, and not fun for the people playing against her or even with her. However, it's simple. That being said, I would like to employ the mindset that you are far more rewarded for being an active range type fighter on your team, almost like using guerrilla warfare. Stay with your team, throw some kunai, launch your mind transmission jutsu on priority targets, then get to a safe spot to heal, then run back in and fight some more. I'd even argue in a full-on brawl, Ino's strings are good to use when people aren't expecting her to run in and strike them. Instead of hiding the whole match, weave in and out of the combat, making priority lockdown picks and launching supportive kunai. On the battlefield, you better be careful, or else you'll find yourself losing your mind to Konoha's blooming flower. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave some suggestions in the comments, and I promise to get to them post-haste. Also, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date on new Shinobi Spotlights and other content. Have a great day!